Kenny, it was a 0-0 draw at Ross County last weekend. You thought it was a decent point. What's been the mood in training this week after that result?
Well, I think we've taken on board what we said after the game. I think we worked hard. You expect that now every week, doesn't matter what position you're in. But certainly, the one thing I didn't think we do well, I didn't think we created much. In fact, their goalkeeper, I don't really think had a save to make in the 90 minutes, so that's a concern. But we don't score enough goals, and it's something that we continually work on in training, and we try and get the right formula. And it's not, as I said before, it's not just the strikers. I think everybody takes responsibility, and it's something that we between now and the end of the season that we really need to make sure we get on top of, because to win games, which we need to do, we need to score goals. That's no rocket science, but an acceptable point. And I think we've now come up to a run of 3 games now in a week, which will give us a fair indication of what we're going to be doing next year.
There was plenty of good deliveries into the box last Saturday. Do you think that's maybe part of the problem solved? Now it's just a case of marrying the two up?
Well, it's one thing we've also mentioned about is the delivery, because we had a number of corner kicks, and it's strange that we didn't actually make the goalkeeper work from him, but corner kicks and free kicks are vital in the modern day game, where if you can get the delivery right and get the movement right, you can be looking at getting yourself between 8 and a dozen goals a season. I don't know what the stats are with our set plays, but it's certainly not as high as that. But we're really working really hard at the moment to make sure we can get that right. And I think if we can do that, it gives us a chance to win the game. But certainly the effort for the 90 minutes up at Dingwall was what I'm looking for. And if we can just turn that little bit of craft or guile, as we call it, in the final third, if we can maybe add that to our game, we should be fine.
Clyde and Morton played on Tuesday night. It was a good win for Morton. Was that a result you were particularly disappointed?
Well, I went along with it to the game with Jimmy, and we sat there and we were asking ourselves what's the perfect scenario here, and certainly didn't want Clyde to win the game, but probably a draw would have been a more acceptable one. But it doesn't really matter now. I think that Morton thoroughly deserved, I thought, on the basis of the 90 minutes, deserved to win the game. I think the deciding factor in the game was the sending off of Billy Gibson, but Morton are probably the biggest and strongest side, I think, in the division in terms of their height that they have in their squad, and they do like to get the ball into the box very quickly. So they've now got a 7-point cushion over us, but that can quickly change. I think if we can look after Livingston on Saturday and then go to Greenock and get a positive result, it's quite easily can change that scenario. So we'll wait and see.
It's the start of yet another big week for the club, with 3 games in 8 days, starting with Livingston at home on Saturday. Obviously, a win drags them right back into the relegation mix.
Well, we've spoken about that as well. That we can get within 4 points of Livingston, and the more teams that we can have in and around our end of the table, the better for us. Certainly we don't want it to be a straight fight at the moment. It's between Clyde and Airdrie. But we certainly want to try and involve as many teams as we can to make it that little bit easier. But ultimately, I think if we look after ourselves, we've got 10 games to go. I think if we win the fair share of them, we'll be fine. But it's okay saying that, but we've actually got to transform that onto the pitch, and that is the difficult thing, as we all know.
How big a psychological boost would it be to climb off the bottom of the table?
We've been there before, haven't we? 2 years ago, we had opportunities to get off the bottom of the table. This season, not so much off the table. I think 2 years ago we were in a scenario where we could have got out the playoff positions, and we never actually did it. But yeah, it's a massive psychological boost, I would think, to the players, and we can do it this Saturday. I think if we get a positive result against Livingston, and I'm quite hopeful of. I know they've had a couple of reverses over the last 2 weeks. They've lost 8 goals in 2 games, but the reports have came back as they've been really unfortunate. Up at Dundee, they could easily have been 2 or 3 up at half time, and certainly even last week I think it flattered Partick Thistle. They won 4-2. So we're really looking after this game here on Saturday, and if we can get the 3 points, as I've said before, it makes the Tuesday night game that little bit easier. and then we can move on to the Queen of the South one. But let's take care of Livingston first, and if we can do that, it'll be a welcome 3 points.
Just finally, team news, Kenny. Obviously, Kevin McDonald's serving the second of a 2-match ban, and Paul Lovering's still injured. Did Darren Smith's performance last weekend give you food for thought? For
yeah, it's given me food for thought. But I'm looking at the squad that we've got now, and Paul Lovering's now back training, but he just needs. I think he needs a couple of games to get him ready. But we've not really got a great deal of time now, and I think certainly the 3 games coming up that we've spoken about may well force my hand a little bit, that we can look at a team for Saturday and also a team for Tuesday, because they're 2 different type of games. I think the Morton game will have to be stand up and be counted, and I think Livingston here, I would expect us, stand up and be counted, but we'll probably maybe see a lot more of football getting played on Saturday than we will on Tuesday, and that's just the way Morton play, and I'm not hiding the fact that they do it very well, and they've had a couple of decent positive results from it.
Best of luck.
Okay, thank you.